Thank you all, and God bless you for being here. I guess for one or two questions we have to jump. Yes?
Just one or two.
Mr. Ciresi, how do you plan on separating yourself from Al Franken, who clearly has a very recognizable name?
Don't I have a recognizable name? I'm going to go throughout the state and talk to the people about who I am, what I've done, and why I believe I should be their senator. I think Al's going to do the same thing, and people will make a decision based on what we've done, not just what we've said. And I'm comfortable with where I've been and what I have to offer.
Mr. Ciresi, you mentioned Virginia Tech.
Yes, sir.
Does that prompt you to call for any new federal gun control proposals?
I think, Eric, that what it calls for is we should have mental health coverage. As you know, Paul Wellstone was a big believer and was a sponsor of that in Congress. Today, Jim Ramstad is a co-sponsor of a bill for mental health. What I've seen come out over the last day and a half about the individual who committed that massacre speaks to me about the need for mental health coverage in this country.
Waiting period.
One last
waiting-
question. From where?
Just
Waiting periods,
the waiting period. Any other federal
extending the
gun
ban on semi-automatic.
I saw very little on the dealer who sold him the gun, but what I saw was that they complied with each and every requirement of the Virginia law. That's all I know. That his background was clear. They did the background check, and the law worked. The problem was we had somebody who had some severe mental problems who wasn't able, apparently, to get the type of care and treatment that he needed. Yes?
The Republicans have put out a statement saying that Mike Ciresi is a liberal, and I'm quoting here obviously, like Al Franken, he believes the best solution to every problem lies in the pocketbook of hardworking Minnesotans, suggesting that you would just raise taxes, presumably. What's your response to that characterization?
Well, I'm probably the only candidate that I'm aware of that actually has been in the marketplace creating jobs for people and making sure people had good incomes, health care, pensions. I know what it is for small business people to make a living. I'm not just a tax and spend person, as they like to paint me, but I'll say this. People who have taxed and spent, in my judgment, are a lot better than those who spend and don't tax and pass debt on to the next generations of Americans. I don't believe that that's the proper way to go.
Mr. Ciresi, how do you plan on keeping up with Al Franken's fundraiser?
We've got to go, but this is the last question. This is last question. This is the last question. Al's done a pretty good job in the first quarter. We have a broad network of people within the state of Minnesota. I think he raised about 24% of his money in Minnesota. We'll raise a lot of funds in Minnesota, and we can also raise funds across the nation. We also have a broad network. I've been out there for 35 years across the nation. And that's it. We got to run. Thanks, folks. The endorsement process stays the same as it is. The legislature doesn't change it. My intention is to abide by it. Thanks.